Okay, so this might be one of the hardest videos I've had to decide if I wanted to actually record, not because of the content itself, but because I wasn't sure if I wanted to share this particular strategy with the World Wide Web. And now I know in this day and age, people are all about don't gatekeep, why are you gatekeeping, blah, 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 right? But in some respect, there are some things that if they fall into the wrong hands, they can be dangerous. So I'm going to share this leadership strategy, and I hope that you use it responsibly. Hi, I'm Barika from Simply Unique Coaching, and I have been leading for over 15 years. I've led way more than 18 teams. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to help employees that are not performing as well as we want to, and how to use behavior modification to do so. I like to say that I am the leader who learned in the trenches, and I like to help leaders with tips and strategies that are going to help them to be better and to grow teams that really want to work for them and that enjoy working with each other. And so for this video, I am going to give a disclaimer. This video is not for you if you are not a leader who has a good heart, if you are a person who is wanting to be manipulative of individuals, if you are a person who really doesn't care about your team, or who thinks that leadership is all about you. Like, this is not the video for you, okay? So just go ahead and click it off at this point in time. Now, if you are a leader who actually does care about your team and who believes in leading more with the servant leadership style, then this video definitely is for you, because in this case, I'm going to show you some strategies that can help employees that are underperforming, but that really you can see potential in to help them continue to move forward and to grow and to become even better than they ever could imagine. And one of the things I have to be super thankful for is I have a particular gift that when I'm working with individuals, I can discern like what's on the inside of them that needs to be cultivated out. So a lot of times, anybody who's really in my circle or is around me for an extended period of time, I'm going to ask them questions to find out really what their purpose is in life. Because a lot of times that is really what people are the most passionate about. And that's really where people are going to find the most contentment in life, when they are operating in what they were created to do and their purpose and all of those kind of things. In that, I am able to talk to people and discern what's in them and help pull it, extract it out of them so that they can be the best version of themselves. And it's just something I've been able to do since I was a little kid. I'm so thankful for it. I give God glory for that, because that is truly a gift from Him. So now when it comes to underperforming employees, there's some things we need to take into consideration. If it is a new employee, then we need to be clear on understanding that it's going to take them time to get to where we need them to go. And as we are developing and training them, we need to give them feedback, real-time feedback, and try to give it to them as quickly as possible, so that if we see them going off course, we can course correct very quickly so that they don't end up learning bad habits or developing bad habits as employees, okay? So we want to give them the time. We want to be fair and give them time to develop, but we also want to give them feedback so that they can be the best version of themselves. Also, one of the things that I like to find out from my employees are what are their strengths, what are they passionate about, what are they good at? Because I can hire you for one thing, but as we're working together, I might find that you're actually better at something else. So if there is an opportunity for you to do the something else, I'm going to try to work towards getting you more in that, especially if I feel like it's something that you want to do or you've communicated to me that you actually prefer doing and you're better at, then we're going to try to work towards getting you towards that. But for right now, if I need you in position A and I hire you for position A, then we're going to have to do what we need to do while I work to get you over here. And I find someone who is better versed to be in this position, and I can move you into the position that you are better versed to work in. So that's something that I do with all of the teams that I work with. And I often find that people want to be on my schedule, want to be on my teams, want to work when I'm working. And that's actually even from the first leadership position I had when I was about 17 years old. And I was 17, right? So I had people maybe as young as 15 on my team, and I had some people that were 65 on my team, and people wanted to work on my shift because I was fair and I didn't really bother them if they were doing what they needed to do. And I would also help support them in the best way that I could. Also, we need to recognize if an employee is a good employee and they just need help, because sometimes life gets in the way. Life, as my friend says, life be life. And sometimes, and sometimes when life's and it just is like, oh my gosh, circumstances come from the left and the right and up and down. And it's like all over the place. And people just go through real things. When you're working with people, you get to see them in different seasons of life. And when we can see them in these different seasons of life, we're going to see them in their up season and their down season and their high season and their low season. And we just need to know that sometimes we just have to give them grace and to help them, because a lot of times when we are walking beside them as they're going through their situation, we can help them make it to the other side to it. And we want to be gracious and we want to sow good seed because we want good things coming back to us, right? Also, when I talk about having good employees, these are people who really want to do a good job and just something has happened and come in the way. So with those kind of people, I'm definitely going to work with them all day long, because if they're motivated to succeed and they are willing to put forth the effort and to do the work, then I'm willing to support them in any way, shape, and form that I can. Now, here is I want to say outlier, but here's the one that, we have to just recognize. Some underperforming employees just frankly don't care. And if they don't care, this is not where they need to be. Now, it depends. If they don't care, but they're able to do their work and they're not causing problems, then, hey, you can float with us as long as you don't cause a problem. Because sometimes they might have a different focus. Like maybe they're in school, maybe they are doing something different with their focus. Maybe they have something else on their mind and they're like, hey, I just need to be here to collect some money, to get some benefits. And my real thing is out on this other thing. And as long as they're not causing problems and they're doing what they need to do as far as the job requirements, then not a problem. The second category of these type of underperforming employees, the ones that don't care, are the ones who cause problems. For me, they gotta go. They gotta go. Now, depending on what happens, some people, they just don't know better. And if they're coachable, I can work with them and try to move them along. But if they're uncoachable and you're being difficult, you gotta go. You gotta go. I'm not telling you gotta fire those type of employees or help them find an exit level position. But for me in my house, I'm not gonna tolerate an insubordinate employee. I'm not gonna tolerate a problem. And even like I was interviewing somebody the other day for a different company. And in the interview, I could tell, I'm like, this is gonna be a problem. Like, I didn't tell the person I'm interviewing that, of course, but I'm like, if we hire this person is going to be a problem. So that's a no for me. Because if this is how they're showing up before the interview or during the interview, and it's just like flag on the play, it's just going to go downhill from here. We're seeing the best right now. And if we're seeing problems in the best, quote unquote, case scenario, then it's just we're going to be dealing with problems long term. So it's a no for me. Okay, so strategies for underperforming employees. We want to make sure that our job descriptions, let me tell you, listen, if you don't work for a company that actually has a functional, well-organized HR department, I want you at least one time in your life to work for one or to get some friends that work in HR, especially if you're in a leadership position. If your company doesn't have a strong HR department, I want you to get well-versed in it because that's going to be helpful for you, okay? So if you have a good HR department or if you have a well-versed leader who has had some experience working in HR, you know that you want to have those clear job descriptions. You want to be able to ensure that when you are doing employee reviews that they are clear as well, because they are going to help you as much as possible. And you want to make sure that your goals are objective, that they are very, very, very clear, and that people know exactly where they stand. Because, like, remember when you were in school, like if you did a project and you had a rubric that was very detailed on A, B, C, D, F, like what does it look like? How did you get all your points for the grade, right? So when you had that clear rubric, you were like, okay, I know what I need to do in order to be able to be successful on this project. It's the same thing when it comes to a job. We want to set people up for success, so we want to make sure that those things are as clear as possible. Okay, so now we're talking about the behavior modification portion. So when it comes to behavior modification, what I am doing is I am going to praise the behaviors that I want to see more of, that I like and that I want to see more of. I'm going to praise them, and I'm going to praise them frequently because I want to continue to see them. And what I'm going to do when it comes to things that I don't want to see, I'm going to address them, and I'm going to address them quickly, and I'm going to address them and ensure that the employee can repeat back to me what they heard me say is the problem. Because when they can articulate it back to me, that lets me know that they truly understand what I was communicating with them and that we're on the same page. So if I said I want to see pink, I don't want to see, they shouldn't come back to me with yellow, green, orange, or brown. If they do, then we're going to have a conversation because I wanted to see pink and you brought me something different. So what do I want to see? Then they should be able to say, oh, you want to see pink? Okay. So the next time they come around, they should not bring white or yellow or orange, because then that's going to be a problem, because I told you what I wanted. I wanted pink. You brought me something different. I gave you feedback and told you I wanted pink. You brought me something different again. Now we're definitely going to have a conversation because something's going on there. And I'm going to correct that. So whether that's a write-up, whether that's probably going to be a write-up at that point in time, or depending on the severity, there might be one more reminder. But if I'm that clear and you still are not doing what I need, then we can start looking at corrective action steps in order to let the employee know that I'm serious and to let them know that this needs to be addressed and fixed quickly, or else they won't be able to stay on board. The other strategy when it comes to working with underperforming employees is devising an exit strategy. So this is some where I might keep a little bit back. I'm not going to put everything on the internet as far as the strategies I use. But when it comes down to an exit strategy, that's basically helping them find their happy place. So if your happy place is not necessarily here in, this organization, and let's help you find your way to the next organization. Or if your happy place is not on this team, let me help you find your way to the next team. And, that can be exit level strategies can be very different. You can help coach the employee into finding that. And it's kind of a mutual agreement. And I never say to the employee, oh goodness, this is not working out. Let me help you find something else. Like that's never the conversation. But I'm thinking, okay, this isn't. I might be thinking that, and then I'm going to develop and devise that strategy to help them to find the place where they're going to be best suited so that I can get somebody who is going to be well suited with me. So the worst thing you can do as a small business, an entrepreneur, or a person who's running a team in a larger company is to hold on to what I call dead weight. And dead weight is basically people that just are not going to be able to make it in the position that they're in. They're just not a good fit. And the worst thing you could do is try to keep somebody who's not a good fit in a situation where they're not a good fit for. So now we're going to go deeper into behavior modification, but I want you to let me know in the comments, what do you think about leaders using behavior modification? What concerns would you have about a leader using behavior modification techniques? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so when it comes to me and behavior modification, one of the things that I do is I strive to be a stable force for my team. I don't want my team to come in on a Monday and say, ooh, what kind of mood is she going to be in? Ooh, Tuesday, what kind of mood she's going to be in. No, I try to be very, very stable and very, very steady so that they know that they can lean on me and they can rely on me to help support them. I also am very, very, very intentional about building relationships with employees. And if you watch any of my other videos, you're going to hear me say it, but I keep saying it because I'm telling you, it works. It works. It works. It works. So if you have any specific question about how to build those relationships with your employees, drop it in the comments because maybe there's something else I need to clarify. But that's basically what has made me successful and helped me to build multiple high-performing teams. And as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to those positive behaviors, I reinforce them as quickly as I can. I say, oh my gosh, you did an amazing job. Thank you so much with this project. Thank you so much with this email. Thank you so much for reaching out to this customer. Thank you so much for solving this problem. Like I'm very, very quick to show gratitude, to show that I'm grateful for my team members and that I appreciate them, and to let them know that they're doing a good job, because that lets them know, okay, I am doing something that makes my boss happy, because good employees, they want to make their bosses happy. They want to make their leaders happy. They're not trying to cause problems. Now, the other employees, the ones that don't care, that's a different story. Also, I am very intentional about developing a work culture and ensuring that the culture of the company is a healthy culture. And actually, I'll link a video here where I actually talk about how I develop a healthy, strong work culture, company culture, team culture. I'm very, very extremely intentional about building that and putting that in place so that if I ever run into an employee who is maybe a more negative person, typically when I'm hiring, I should be able to filter that out. And now, I'm just in headhunting mode, so I'll know that way beforehand, if they're a negative person or a positive person. But anyway, back when I was blind hiring, I'll call it like that. When I was doing blind hiring, you really don't know a person until you get them in the position, right? You can do your best to filter them out through your interview, but then when they get on the team, that's when you get to really see what you really hired. And so if I notice someone being negative, I'm going to address it quickly. I'm going to spend time with them. I'm going to want to get to know them better. And I'm looking through these conversations. I'm trying to pinpoint the root cause of the problem and seeing how I can support that person. Also, the thing I'm looking for in those conversations is, does this person actually want to be here? Does this person want to do a good job? And again, if they do, then I'm going to work to support them. But if not, then I am going to help them find their happy place. And any behaviors I don't want to see long-term, I'm definitely going to address them as soon as possible so that they can stop and that we can get into that happy place and that happy space as a team. Now, if you want to learn how to motivate your team as a manager, I want you to watch this video next. And with that being said, make it a great day.